Soft skills has to be a part of our DNA. We have to take that extra effort to coach our staff.
It becomes even more imperative that we teach people soft skills so we know how to belong, so that we can see, really see one another.
Right. We're out there for the patient, and we're developing these skills ultimately so that we can benefit the patient. Guiding growth through education. Lessons in clinical data management. Hello, and welcome to the SCDM podcast. My name is Carol Schaffer, and I'm happy to be joined today in our podcast about soft skills by Joy Allen and Sujata Aiyangar. Ladies, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Sure. Yes, I'm Joy Allen. I'm joining from Raleigh, North Carolina. Excited to be here and talk about soft skills today.
Excellent.
I'm Sujata Aiyangar, and I've flown all the way from Mumbai, India. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you both for being here. I'm so glad that we match in color. I'm glad we all got the memo, so this is good. So today we're going to be talking about soft skills. And so Joy, I'll start with you.
Sure.
In your experience, why are soft skills like empathy, communication, leadership, why are they so important in the work that we do?
Absolutely. So I believe that whenever we build confidence, that's when we get the best out of people. And so soft skills are all about relating to folks despite their background, where they might be coming from. And when you're able to engage people and make them feel important, you're going to get their best work. So obviously we want the best work when it comes to quality. We're at the end of the day trying to serve patients. And
Right.
So soft skills not only help us to be productive, but it makes our teams the best they can be for the people that we serve.
Thank you. And Sujata, any thoughts on why it's important from your perspective?
I think fundamentally we are working in a global environment. And as of today, soft skills has become so important. From a clinical research standpoint, if you see, we've always focused on domain, on technical skills. And people have truly forgotten the soft skills, empathy, listening, critical thinking. I think these are things that are so important, right? And I think that just helps to build a stronger and more bonded team. And I think today it's not a way of life. It's like your DNA.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. I just interviewed one of the deans in the School of Health Sciences from the University of Maryland, and we were talking about skills and one of the and concerns that the students have, and one of the concerns that they have is, how do I become marketable? How do I get into the industry? How do I grow in the industry? And when I spoke with the students earlier in the week, and then when I was speaking with her, my answer is you can learn the technical. The technical is, I don't want to say it's easy. It has its complexities, but the foundational soft skills are really what, as a hiring manager, that's what I'm looking for. If you can listen well, critically think, have that empathy, have that ability to negotiate and influence, I can teach you the technical part of the job. So I'm so passionate about that. So I'm glad that both of you are as well. So Sujata, I'll start with you on this one. How can education and professional development programs better support cultivation of leadership and other soft skills in the clinical data professionals?
So, Carol, for me, I had the opportunity to be at the University of Maryland, right? And I was listening in when the assistant dean spoke about, how important is soft skills. She said, I can teach the class anything technical, but how do I teach about soft skills, right? From an SCDM perspective, I think last 3 years, I've had the opportunity to run workshops. And I think that's a brilliant step ahead. And if you see, these workshops wouldn't have happened if SCDM did not realize the importance of it, right? So from my perspective, the webinars that we do, the workshops that we do, the elevation in terms of education. Yesterday, we heard about Elevate, how we are moving from a clinical data manager to a clinical data scientist, right? I think these are very, very important aspects when you look at soft skills overall. And at the end of the day, you're building a professional. It's not just domain skills, it's also your soft skills which really matter, because it's cross-functional teams that you deal with.
Right.
Absolutely. Right. I echo what Sujata said. I've had an opportunity to co-present with her on some of these soft skills workshops with the SCDM conference, and it's been amazing. In terms of education, I do believe it continues to be needed because we're in a world, right, where cultural sensitivity is absolutely necessary.
Yes.
As you mentioned, we all work together. We're all over the globe, and we really need to take a moment to understand one another so that we can communicate and then, of course, serve our patients once again. So
Right.
the education is absolutely necessary, and I'm excited that the SCDM recognizes that.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of our competency framework. We have the whole soft skills section that we heard it. We heard the call for it. We heard the need for it. And as you alluded to, the one of the workshops here was a soft skills workshop, and the feedback on it was tremendous. That so glad that that the attendees had gone and they learned a lot. And to your point, I think it only enhances people's confidence and people's ability to do their job better and to ultimately serve our patients better. How does SCDM's approach to education reflect the growing need for soft skill development along with the technical training? So we've sort of been talking around this a little bit,
quite a bit.
But would you like to take that first?
Absolutely. So you talked about the competency framework. We understand that holistically we need those technical skills as well as the soft skills. And the SCDM has really been pushing that now as a part of that framework so that everyone understands to move from clinical data management to clinical data science. We need all of this.
Yeah.
It's no longer just about the technology or just about the science, but you also have to be a person who is able to think, a person who's able to analyze, and then communicate. We spent a lot of time yesterday talking about giving a message to the data and telling people a story, not just giving them numbers, but this is how you interpret it, and this is what we need to do next.
Right.
So holistically, that's exactly what we need and what we need to continue.
Great. And thoughts on that?
You know, I echo what she said, but one of the things that we realized when we were running the workshop is that it's a global environment. What is acceptable in the United States may not necessarily be acceptable in India. And those examples were so visible to us. And I think workshops like these truly help us to connect with people, to express what we have. And I think at the end of the day, if it's all about connection, it's all about understanding each other, and it's all about how we connect and learn and unlearn. So for us, when we were nodding our head, and in India, when somebody is asking me, can you deliver this? And I'm just nodding my head. Does that mean a yes? Right? Somebody takes it as a yes. But actually, I come from a culture where saying no is not acceptable. Right? So how do you differentiate that? And that's something that I expressed this time. And I had folks saying that it has been so difficult for them to understand that this means yes, but actually I'm not giving you a complete answer. I'm not giving you a timeline, right? So I think cultural nuances, Carol, today has become so important for us.
Yeah, and one of the best trainings I took years ago was a cultural awareness training of different cultures, and actually that came up as an example of if they're sitting there nodding, verbally get the acknowledgement if that's what you're looking for. So no, great example, and I agree. I think that that cultural awareness and the just, I think the word nuance is perfect, because we have to understand the nuances between the cultures and in order to be able to really work together. And we're all looking towards the same goal. We're all trying to achieve the same goal, and we don't all do it the same way. But I think ultimately we can work together. It's just understanding each other. So that absolutely great. So what makes the partnership between SCDM and industry players effective in embedding the soft skills in our real world learning experiences? So, you know, we have the society, we have our training, industry is kind of doing their thing, you know, we have internally, but working together, how can we effectively get this more widespread?
So I would say SCDM doesn't work in silos. They're out there. They're in the industry. They're checking what regulators are doing. They're checking what pharma companies are doing. They're checking what CROs are doing. They're on the ground. They're truly understanding what everybody is doing. And consortiums like this, right? Like you bring us all together. EMEA, India, United States. I mean, this is where SCDM is playing a huge role in getting us all together. Different ethnicities, different cultures, different roles and titles. I don't think any of us sitting here really look at what role we're playing. All of us are here for a common cause. How do we get that drug out in the market faster, in the appropriate manner, respectfully?
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
I couldn't agree more. And I'll add a sort of a rudimentary comment to that as well. Sometimes it's nice to partner with these companies and work with all of the employees, because you take them out of the back office. If we would be honest, in most of our roles as clinical data managers and within that realm, we're kind of back office. We joke a lot about how ClinOps tells us what to do, Biostats tells us what we did wrong.
Right, yeah.
Those types of things. But it's so nice to have an organization that, as you mentioned, partners with everyone in the industry, the CROs, the pharma companies, the academic centers, and brings all of us together for a common goal. You can sort of step back and realize I'm important as a data scientist as well. The work that I do is making a difference.
Right.
We need that encouragement so that we can go back into our day-to-day jobs and make the best impact.
Yeah, and I think you started off by saying that the soft skills instill the confidence, it builds the confidence within the people, and I think that it builds the confidence to the point where they stop being told what to do or what they did wrong, and they come to the table. They're not asked, they come to the table and they say, this is what I have, whether it be, this is what I have, this is a problem that I see, and here might be a possible solution. Having that confidence to be able to do that underlies, I think, a lot of what we do. They have the technical knowledge. It's that confidence aspect that I think is important.
I have to say, like I always do, one thing I love about SCDM, it really helps us to be innovators, not order takers. And I tell my
like
team
that.
all the time, and the SCDM really drills that in for us, and I'm so thankful for that.
I'm going to get T-shirts made on that. How can we ensure that soft skill development remains relevant and responsive to the evolving demands of clinical research today?
That's a great question. I don't even know if I can say that we answer the how without saying we must, right?
Right.
You know, even within the country here in the United States, there are so many cultural differences. And the truth of the matter is that in order for us to continue working together, we have to keep building on soft skills. We have new generations coming in, and as SCDM is reaching out with the new technology, new websites, all the refreshing, that's what's needed to continue the conversation and to continue helping us to communicate with each other, to understand one another, have patience with one another, and then also sometimes change for one another. It's necessary to understand we're going to follow the technology, we're going to follow the science, but at the end of the day, we have to do it together.
Yeah.
I would say relevance is out of the window now, Carol. It's a part of our DNA. If we don't have it as a part of our DNA, we're not going to be successful. We spoke about different cultures, right? And I think it's very, very important that as a leader, I'm also taking that effort to coach my people and explain to them, you have to have a seat at the table. When you're at that table, you have to communicate the story to the data. Just showing graphs and dashboards, and we can talk about AI, agentic AI, but at the end of the day, it's the human connection. I think people have forgotten that over a period of time. It's become very transactional. And I think it's very, very important to what she said, right? Where is that connection? How are we coaching our people? This new generation is all about everything has to get done fast, but fast with quality. Fast with that connection, because at the end of the day, there is a patient waiting for us. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, and I think that it's really interesting you said about the human connection and the telling the story, and it was something that I was speaking with the Associate Dean about just before, and that was they are trying to instill in their students that the data tells a story, and you have to be able to tell that story. It's not just the cold data, right? So I think that's a storytelling as a soft skill, I think is something that we don't always go to, right? We let off with empathy and leadership and influence, right? But storytelling, in the end, it is storytelling. Yeah. Do you think that there's a connection between soft skill development and talent retention?
Oh, definitely.
Ooh, yes.
Very strongly.
That was an overall.
Joy, want to go?
More thoughts?
Carol, I think there is such a strong connection, right? I mean, you can bring in any kind of technology, any kind of AI, but the human connection is so important. If I'm going to have that conversation with somebody from my team and, understand just by the body language, okay, is this person okay? Is this person not okay? The tone, the voice, everything makes a big, big difference for me today. What am I doing to enhance and understand and listen? There are so many times that at team meetings, there is a lot unsaid. How are we ensuring that the person is made to feel comfortable? And this is where I say the culture becomes very important. How open is the culture? How open are we to coach these new gen people who we are talking about? I think if you're giving them a conducive environment to work in, if there is flexibility, if there is openness, I think you will not have people leave. People don't leave jobs. they actually leave their bosses.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
So I think it's very, very important, and soft skills has to be a part of our DNA, like I said that before. I would say that if I am failing as a leader to coach somebody for soft skills, because not everybody comes from the same background, right? Everybody comes from a very, very different background. I think today we have to take that extra effort to coach our staff so that they stay back with us. You at least make them feel heard and listened, because I think most of the times we're ready with a response even before the question is finished.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I agree. I think something that's natural for all of us is a desire to belong. That's natural for anyone, no matter
Right.
where they come from or what they do. And so soft skills are what make us feel that we belong to something. Truthfully, if I am a part of a family, I mean, families have spats, they have fights, right? But the reason you don't leave is because that's your family.
Right.
You have a connection. There's a principle there that you're going to work through it. And so if we're going to talk about retention in the workplace, we have to make people feel like they're a part of a family.
Right.
Like you said, it can't just be transactional or just based on technical skill. You can get that anywhere. And it becomes increasingly more difficult in a virtual world where we're looking at people through a screen, we're not having meetings. You know, I can't compliment you on your nice outfit and bring you donuts for lunch. All of that kind of goes out of the window. So it becomes even more imperative that we teach people soft skills so we know how to belong, so that we can see, really see one another.
Right.
And know that you matter to somebody.
Right.
Although we're technical people, we all still want to be loved. We all want to know that someone cares. You know, that's just human nature. And
Right.
so we
Love
need
them
that
back as well.
Right.
Exactly.
Right,
Exactly.
right. Well, ladies, thank you so much for your time and your insights. So we want to be loved. We're out there for the patient, and we're developing these skills ultimately so that we can benefit the patient. Thank you for your time. Wonderful insights. I appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you all for listening.
Thank you.